counter is indeed complicated, so I'm glad I looked this up. Counter is technically a fighting type move in Generation 1, red, blue, and yellow. That doesn't matter at all. In every other version of the game, that does matter, and it means that you cannot hit ghosts with it. But outside of that, type does not matter in terms of actual damage. What does matter is that it has a low priority. It actually has a priority of -5, which means that it goes last. It doesn't matter the speed of your Pokemon, counter goes second. So what you want to do is you want to put this on a tanky Pokemon, somebody that can take a lot of physical punishment, because if that Pokemon is hit with a physical damaging move, then it will counter and do twice the damage to that opponent. However, that's only Generation 2 and on. That's this version of the game. In Generation 1, counter would only work if it was a normal move or a fighting move. Anything else, and it didn't count. Kind of sucks. I'm not a big fan of it, especially since it can only be used on physical attacks. It only counters physical attacks, not special attacks. And I have to get hit first. Especially with the Nuzlocke challenge, that's not something that I'm particularly keen on doing. Although there is one Pokemon that I'm considering using that on. One. But we'll go over that later. Primarily, though, I'm going to say no to that. Come on, Haunter! I love Haunter. I collect them. What the hell's a Haunter? Haunter turned into a different Pokemon while being traded. Hey, what do you know? They actually do go over trade evolutions in this game. Yes, Haunter, which we have not seen, is actually already a second evolution. When you trade it, it will actually evolve into the third version of, the third evolution of that line. And it turns into a Gengar. But they do actually tell you, which is always nice. There are a couple other ones. Actually, we've seen all the other ones. Machop's third evolution has to be traded. Abra's third evolution, that requires a trade. And Geodude's third evolution requires a trade. Remember that about Abra, though, as we continue to fight our rival. All right, my buddy's going to trade me his Kangaskhan for my Haunter. Really? Like, that kid better love Haunters. You're giving away a Kangaskhan for a Haunter? I would say Haunter is the better Pokemon, but Kangaskhan is rare. That's hard to get. That is not an easy Pokemon to get. I totally wouldn't take the trade. Like, I'll keep the Kangaskhan, dude. You can identify Pokemon you get in trades by their ID numbers. Sure. I'm going to write down all the ID numbers of all the Pokemon that people trade me over the years. That way I can keep them all in mind. Like, no, that's not happening. How you doing, dude? I'm getting a present for my girlfriend. I guess a Poké-Doll will be it. It's the popular thing. I don't know why. I hate Poké-Dolls. They're a waste of money. I heard something useful. If a wild Pokemon appears, you can distract it with a Poké-Doll. Distract is not really the right word. You run away when you use the Poké-Doll. You can run away while the wild Pokemon is distracted. Yeah, it helps you run. How many ways do I need to run from a battle, really? Like, I got Roar, I got Whirlwind, I think we'll do it as well. I got the Run command. I got so many. I got Teleport. Really, how much do I need? How much do I need to run? Hi there, may I help you? What do you have? You've got the crap. And as you can see, Poké-Dolls cost 1,000 Pokébucks. Totally not worth it at all. It's an attractive doll. Use it to flee from any battle with a wild Pokémon. For 1,000 bucks, you can run away from a wild Pokémon. I can think of one time that is useful, and really by the time that you get there, you don't want to run. You prepared for that. Technically, I guess all the legendaries wouldn't work, but I'm only thinking the last one. Here we can also find a retro mail, a piece of mail featuring a print of 3 cute Pokemon. It is to be held by a Pokemon. Mail is going to be useless for me. The only thing it can be used for is sending notes to a trainer. You write something on the mail, you give it to a Pokemon, and then you trade that Pokemon to the other person, and then that works as like really inefficient email, I guess. This was before the days of texting, but it wasn't before the days of the internet. Come on now, what are you doing? Here, though, we can find these stones. Now, these stones are very important if you want to evolve your Pokemon, and I would highly recommend that you do that, unless you're, like me, going through a challenge. Firestone, a peculiar stone that makes certain species of Pokemon evolve. It is colored orange. The Firestone, if you have a fire Pokemon that evolves using the Firestone, you want to use it. Simple as that. Thunderstone, a particular stone that makes certain species... Oh, it says all the same thing. It has a Thunderbolt pattern. This is pretty much the same thing, but for electric Pokemon. Most popular one, of course, being Pikachu evolving into Raichu using the Thunderstone. There's also the Waterstone, a peculiar stone. Yeah, it's a clear light blue. It's water. There's only a couple water types, but honestly, most of the ones that require the stone are not all that useful, and I don't end up using these stones too often, simply because the Pokemon don't necessarily seem worth it. There is one glaring exception, though, and we'll get to that because we're going to get that in the town. And then finally we have Leaf Stone, the one that everybody forgets this version, I feel, for one particular reason. It has a leaf pattern on it, and this would actually be required for the Bellsprout that I caught, that I am not going to evolve anyway. But yeah, the Leaf Stone, people tend to forget it in this version, that it totally exists, simply because there will be one Pokemon that can actually use all of these three, the Firestone, Thunderstone, and Waterstone, but not the Leaf Stone, so people tend to forget it. But it is here. It is here, that Leaf Stone, but it doesn't work. It works in later versions of the game, but not this one particularly. And if you're playing the original versions, of course, it would not work there. I heard something... Oh, yeah, right. You can spend $1,000 to run from a wild battle. Sure, that's useful, considering that I get that from a hard trainer usually. Like a gamer will give me that kind of money. Get back here, old man! Pokemon stat enhancers can be bought only here. HP up increases the base HP of a Pokemon. Calcium raises the base special attack stat of one Pokemon, which has never made sense to me. Calcium is supposed to increase your bone density, but somehow that translates to special attack in Pokemon. Zinc boosts the base special defense stat of one Pokemon. Honestly, I don't know what Zinc does in the body. Carbos enhance the base speed stat. That kind of makes sense. Carbohydrates increase your energy level. Sugar is a carbohydrate, so there you go. I'm here for Pokemon stat enhancers. Protein increases the base attack power. See, that makes perfect sense. Protein attack. Got it. Protein increases your strength, supposedly. Iron increases the base defense stat. Once again, makes sense to me. Iron defense. Iron, I don't know if that actually increases your defense in the body, but it makes sense in the abstract sense. You give them metal and it makes them harder to hit. Sure. And honestly, these are some of the best items in the game, if you ask me. You can actually purchase these, but they're so expensive that I'm going to postpone using these. If I remember right, there is a limit on how many you can use on any given Pokemon. Honestly, don't remember if it is per vitamin. Sure, we'll go with vitamin. We're giving them drugs. I'm not sure if it's per drug, like I can give somebody a certain amount of HP ups and then the same amount of proteins and then all the way down, or if it's a total number. I honestly don't remember, and I will look into that before I end up using them. Right now is honestly too early to be using them unless you're absolutely sure what your final Pokemon team is going to be. For me, it's still too early, considering that my entire team could die at any time. But hey, they went over all of these, so there's no need for me to go over all of these. Honestly, they didn't have anything else for HP up. All these other ones were kind of creative, but then HP, they're just like, I don't know, HP up? They couldn't think of a single vitamin that would do that? I don't know. Niacin. There, I made one up. It could work. What do I know? They don't regulate that. And here we can find the X items. As you can see, they're very cheap. They are actually pretty good when you use them in certain situations, especially when you like put a Pokemon to sleep or freeze them. Freeze will actually stop their move. And then you can just like pound away on X attack or whatever you want. And once again, you use them in long battles. You don't use them to kill one Pokemon. You use them when you want them to sweep like 5 or 6 in a row. That's when these are useful. There's also guard spec. These pretty much all do what you want, or what you think they would. Attack, defend, speed. For some reason in this version of the game, they didn't separate special attack and special defense. Of course, in the first generation, that was all just under the category of special. So X special would raise that. But for this version of the game, it only increases special attack. And then once again, wears off if the Pokemon is withdrawn. So good luck with that. And then defense, yeah, there's nothing here for special defense in these versions of the games, unfortunately. And then you have X accuracy, probably the most useless if you ask me. And it's the most expensive. Like X accuracy, I've never understood why that was so expensive. It increases your accuracy. But honestly, how often are you missing? Really, to the point that you want to use an item like this. It's useful for certain moves like Hyper Beam. Remember, only had 90 accuracy, but still, I would rather take my chances on the Hyper Beam, miss one, and then hit the next time than use that. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. Like I said, certain situations, for all of these, not a lot of situations, to be honest. Except for maybe the final gauntlet. Then we have Guard Spec, an item that prevents stat reduction among party Pokemon for 5 turns after use. This actually is pretty useful when you know that they're going to be trying to lower your stats. It will prevent that from happening for 5 turns. Not too bad, if I may say so myself. Then we have Dire Hit, which I've never really been a fan of. Increases your critical hit ratio of Pokemon in battle. Once again, just for the one Pokemon. The only one here that I actually like that much is Guard Spec. Dire Hit, one Pokemon, everything else one Pokemon. Guard Spec, whole team, 5 turns. But the rest of them can last forever, so there's that. But critical hit ratio, once again, I'm kind of playing the odds. I would rather just, kill them with normal hits as I go along. But maybe that's just me. It is my style, and I do appreciate that other people do like using the stat reduction, stat buffs, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. I like just the raw power. My sister is a trainer, believe it or not, but she's so immature, she drives me nuts. This one right here. I'm thirsty, I want something to drink. Well, there are vending machines here after all. Oh, look at that. Vending machines, thank you. I can actually see them. It has fresh water, soda pop, and lemonade. I'm actually going to get the most expensive one first. Because, if memory serves me correctly, she gives me all 3. But, just in case I'm mistaken, I'll start with the most expensive one. Can of lemonade... Oh, spoiler. We're giving it to the little girl that asked because she was thirsty. In the original version of the game, I believe this is what you need instead of the tea for the guards. Obviously, it's the guards. I'm thirsty. I want something to drink. Give her a drink. Here you go. You can have the lemonade. Yay, lemonade. She doesn't want the tea. Thank you. You can have this for me. And we got TM33 from the little girl. Is she going to say what it is? It is Reflect. It's a move that weakens the power of physical attacks by your foe. It's a very interesting move. It's used a lot in multiplayer, these types of moves, but really, you don't have to be too concerned about it in single player. If you want to use it, that's kind of up to you, and it's kind of a unique strategy for single player. It's primarily a multiplayer thing, which I'm not too concerned about. Where is it? Oh, TM case, that's right. So let's open the TM case, and we can see Reflect. A wall of light cuts damage from physical attacks for 5 turns. It's actually not too bad. Not too bad. It's actually double your defense. So roughly half damage happening to you for 5 turns. But once again, only physical attacks. So you're going to want to use that on people that you know are weak to physical attacks, but not so weak that will still kill them. Once again, it's useful in multiplayer, but in single player, it's limited. It's limited. But hey, for you know, what was it, 350? Not bad. All right, so now we'll buy a soda pop. You shouldn't be having so much sugar, kid. Actually, let's buy the fresh water as well, because I'm pretty sure she'll give me all of this. This, of course, all will heal your Pokemon in battle as well. But if I remember right, they're actually very useful. I'll have to look that one up as well. But we'll deal with this first. Here you can have a soda pop, and for that we get TM20. TM20 is Safeguard. Safeguard, if I remember right, is a little bit more up my alley in terms of defensive skills. Safeguard will prevent all your Pokemon from being hit with status, more or less. It also works for confusion. It's pretty good. I like it. For 5 turns, no statuses, and then you put that and pair that with the guard spec. Nobody's doing this weird stat reducing or status inflicting on you. It's pretty much down to damage. Makes the game a lot simpler that way. It's a move that prevents status problems amongst your Pokemon. Once again, for 5 turns. All right, so give her a drink. Which one? Fresh water. You can have this, and we get TM16. This one is, well, it's pretty much the same as Reflect. This is Light Screen. It's a move that weakens the power of special attacks. Pretty much the same thing that Reflect did, but for special attacks. It doubles your special defense. For 5 turns? I believe it's still 5 turns. Right, 5 turns. In Generation 1, I don't think it had a limit. I think it just went on forever. So, their defensive skills, honestly, I don't know exactly the best reasons to use them. Because, like I said, it's mostly a multiplayer thing. You want to use it when you know that the opponent is going to be using special attacks or going to be using physical attacks, and you're already strong, I would assume, in that. In single player, it's kind of rare to know what kind of move the opponent is going to use, and oftentimes in single player, the gym leaders and all the tough opponents will have both physical and special moves that they can use, so it's kind of weird how that ends up working out. But with that done, I'm going to look up how much these heal. Looked it up. These are actually pretty useful. The fresh water actually will heal your Pokemon for 50 HP, so the same as a super potion. Then soda pop, which is probably the least efficient. Sure, it's the least amount of bang for your buck. It will heal for 60 HP. So for $100 more, not necessarily worth it. If you're trying to heal here, Lemonade's really what you want. It will heal for 80 HP. And then, of course, in the first generation of games, you will get different TMs for giving the little girl these things. If you give her a fresh water, she'll actually give you Ice Beam, and I'm sad that I don't get Ice Beam at this point in the game right now. Ice Beam in both the original version and this version of the game would have 95 power, 100% accuracy, 10% chance of freezing the target. Obviously an ice move, one of the, I think, the best in the game, to be honest with you. I remember using it all the time in the first generation. They actually nerfed it a bit in the latest generation from a 95 power to a 90 power. I was unaware of that, but I would highly recommend it, and hold on to it. Don't teach it to anybody unless you have you pick Squirtle. Maybe teach it to Squirtle. If you didn't pick Squirtle, you will get a Pokemon that uses it so well later on. So don't teach it unless it's to Squirtle. If you gave her the Soda Pop, you would get Rock Slide. I believe we have seen Rock Slide, but I don't think we have anybody that uses it. It has a power of 75, accuracy of 90. It is a rock type move, obviously. In the first generation, no additional effect. In generations 2 and on, it also has a 30% chance of making the target flinch. So when you first get it, nothing. If you get it here, obviously nothing, but if we get it now, it would actually be pretty good. And if you give her the lemonade, you get Tri-Attack. Tri-Attack is actually pretty damn good. In the original version of the game, 80% power, or sorry, not 80%, just 80 power and 100% accuracy, normal type move, and that was it. In later versions of the game, they also added a 20% chance total of inflicting either a burn, a paralysis, or a freeze. So it became better, but it's still a pretty good attack at 80 power. And honestly, I would love getting that now, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not thirsty, apparently. So we will move on. And I do believe that I do want to go over the other TMs that you would get in the original versions of the game. I believe those were on one more down? Second floor? I believe they were down here. Hold on while I make sure that I have all the information that I need. If you are playing the original version of the game, all the TMs are different and more or less worse. If you're playing the original version, 1,000 Pokebucks can get you Double Team, which is a move that will raise your evasion by 1 stage. For 1,000 Pokebucks, you can get Reflect, which we've gone over since I just got it. For 2,000 Pokebucks, you can waste your money on Razor Wind. Razor Wind is better now than it was then. In the original version of the game, 80 damage, 75% accuracy, just not good. And it's a normal move, even though flyers are the ones that use it. Just don't get it. Do not get it. There are better things out there for you than using Razor Wind. 2 moves, 80 damage, 75% accuracy. That's really all you need to know. Not that great. For, I believe, 2,000? Yes, still 2,000 Pokebucks, you can get yourself Horn Drill. That is an instant kill move. However, it only has an accuracy of 30% in the original game, so take that for what you will. If you want to put your odds up on a 30% chance of instantly killing your opponent, feel free to take your chance. But anybody that's been watching me and watch me play RPGs for however long I've been doing this, you know that I don't like death. I don't like using instant death. And that's pretty much what Horn Drill is. There is a trick to it, to countering it. If you get a substitute out, and we haven't really seen a substitute, but there's a move called Substitute where you throw a substitute out. In the original versions, up until Generation 2, you throw the substitute out, they use Horn Drill, kill the substitute. If you counter that Horn Drill, you will instantly kill them. No matter what. It does like infinite damage, I believe they refer it to. It's kind of broken that way, but it's kind of a rare circumstance that will happen. For 2,000 Pokebucks, you can get yourself Egg Bomb. Egg Bomb is a 100 power, 75% accuracy normal move that almost nobody can use. I mean, we're talking the Execute line. We're talking 4 Pokemon total that can ever use this, and it's not that great anyway. Don't waste your money on Egg Bomb. It's not good. It's primarily the Execute line that is known for it, but there is also another egg type Pokemon that uses it, or at least it has eggs that also uses it, but we haven't seen that one yet. But overall, just don't get it. Then for 3,000 Pokebucks apiece, you can get Mega Punch and Mega Kick, which we have. So there's that. Then there's 3,000 Pokebucks for Takedown. Takedown is another normal move, 90 power, 85% accuracy, and if you hit it, if you actually land it, 25% damage to you in recoil, as they call it. So not my favorite move. I don't like low accuracy, and I don't like getting hit at the end of my own move. That's maybe just a personal thing, but it feels wrong to get that. And for 3,000 more Pokebucks, the final one that you can get is Submission. 80 power, 80% accuracy, and once again, 25% of the damage that you do back to you in recoil damage. So once again, just not my favorite. Not my favorite. at all. So that is going to do it for the department store. We have fully explored it. Well, probably longer than we absolutely needed to. And unfortunately, that is going to do it for these parts of Let's Play Pokemon LeafGreen. We will have to finish exploring Celadon City next time. That's going to do it for these parts. Hope you have enjoyed them. I've been Baller Scuba. I've been joined as always by Dumpus and his bored to death Pokemon team of 10-player Fuzimi, Pierre, Sanders, Rumpus, and Samja in his triumphant return. Hope you guys have enjoyed these parts. Hope you laughed. Hope you learned. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.